Hello, everybody. Welcome back again to another episode. And today we are going to cover four personality types generally that are out there. And you're going to find out which one you are. Coming up. So yeah, today just let's go ahead and cover about why we do what we do. Okay. Mm, After my sip of coffee. All right. So why we do what we do? Well, you got to understand one thing. There is a type of personality that you belong in. Now, you've got to also understand that when I say that you're a specific type of personality, that doesn't mean that it's it for you. We have to look at the background, your background basically, the type of environment that you grew up with, your culture as well, and your beliefs. Okay, so those things will impact the way you react to situations, the way you are with people. It will impact that. But in general, there are still four types of people out there. And we're going to use one of my favorite views of this personalities is the elements, water, fire, earth, and air. And that way you can relate to them easily. Okay, so let's start with air. Okay, so if you look at the air, the wind, right? When we get a lot of wind, it moves, it shakes the trees. That's how you know there's wind. That's how you hear, but you really can't see and touch the wind, right? You can just experience it by looking at certain things. And wind comes in strong, right? It just goes strong sometimes. And sometimes it's just slow, smooth, barely a little bit of wind. But then we also have storms, right? So we've got tornadoes, right? Big, strong storms. So who is the type of person that is a wind, an air element? Well, that type of person is the one who is driven to do what it takes to get the job done. However, it goes strong at times or sometimes it dies out. This is the person that basically you invite to a trip. Okay, you guys go on the trip and it's a car trip and it's for like whatever from state to state. It's going to take hours. And when you invite this person is the one that's going to say, "Oh, awesome, let's go." Has no idea what kind of car. Does it need money? Does this person need money to bring with them? Where are they going to eat? They don't ask any of those questions. Who's coming with them? Nothing. No, man, they're just, let's do it. This is also the type of person that, where's the party at attitude, right? Let's party. Life is a party. Let's just party. And also, this is the type of person who is the center of attention and loves to have that be the center of attention at any party. So if you ever go to a party, go to a club, and if you are with a group of people and there's this one person who always gets to be the leader or the one that stands out of the pack or out of the group, yeah, there's a highly possibility this person is an air element. Okay, so what are some of the downfalls of the air? Well, that is because they jump first and ask questions if they remember later. Okay, this is the type of people that they'll be driven to do something, but immediately their focus will go away, just like wind, right? You never know where the wind is going to come, especially in a storm, right? It'll come from north to south or east to west, but it'll change like that in a moment's time. So same thing with this air type of person. Their focus goes practically everywhere. Okay, and hey, Karma, good to see you here. So yeah, so um, Oh, Karma is talking because we had discussed this before. Karma is here on the live show. For those of you who are listening right now on the podcast, I've got the live show on Facebook running at the same time. So I'm sometimes I get caught up and I start watching what's happening around me. So get this. Guess who I am? I'm air. Okay. My focus can go in multiple directions, and I just basically explain to you the type of person that I am. Now, if you're this type of person, the good news is that when you surround yourself with the right type of people, your efforts, your strength will actually get greater. Just like imagine a storm. When a storm is created, there's a lot of wind everywhere, right? Especially here in Florida, we get a lot of the storms, hurricanes and all that stuff. But tornadoes will drop in a specific spot, but tornadoes can only be created by a storm, right? So there's a lot of wind going in multiple directions. However, when it's focused, it creates a tornado, and a tornado can, unfortunately, devastate a lot of things in their path. But if you put that into your life path, you can create a lot of things when you're directing your energy into one specific spot. That's why it's important to understand your purpose in life. Okay. Now, that was air. So let's move on to the other one. All right. Fire. Let's talk about fire since I've got Karma here saying that he's a fire person. Yeah, fire. So check this out. So we got air, right? That type of person. The fire type of person is a little bit, okay, let's just be honest. Totally different. Totally different type of person. I used to actually work directly with a fire person. This is the person that the mission is everything. All right. This is the person that no matter what, they will accomplish the mission. And soldiers will drop on their sides. He'll still be, or she still be, focused on completing the mission. This guy this person is a passionate person, but a strong one. This is the one that when he or she gets into a certain type of attitude of accomplishing something, will literally make other people, not like them. Okay. There's a lot of people, will start, not liking them a lot, and kind of regretting the fact that they're working with this type of person, because he or she will get and acquire the tools and talents of everybody, but just like he's working day and night and day, he expects the same from everybody else. And if you're not doing that, then you're not in his team, you're not in his radar, you're not in the mission, you don't care about the mission, right? All right. So you can tell a fire person is amazing at business. Why? Because, imagine, right? If you're a fire, you get into you get your strength focused on accomplishing the mission of building a business. You will do it. That's just amazingly, it's just going to happen. Okay. When I used to work with the fire person, my boss at that time, I worked directly, and it was interesting that he had everybody in the company, they didn't like him very much. Okay. And however, I learned so much from him because day and night and day, like I said, he was on it, and he knew every cent, every penny. He knew everyone, what they're doing. As a matter of fact, he will micromanage. Okay. So again, you can tell why this type of people, most people don't like, because they're pretty strong. All right. Now, so the good thing is that here is the negative thing, just like air, right? We always have a strength and we have a weakness. So the weakness with fire, relationships. All right. They're so fired up that they forget, or they don't know how to communicate with a person. The relationship is, it's not there. Remember, they're all about the mission. As a matter of fact, again, my boss at that time, he wasn't even married, and he was, I think, late 30s, early 40s, and still not married, no children. because he will be running, it was 15 locations at least at that time. And he was on it, man. He was on those things and growing. Okay. So his relationship things, well, I can tell it wasn't there. And, that's what happens, right? You have the strength, you have weaknesses. So, um, that is so me. Carmen saying that is so me. Yeah, I know. So, and that's okay, right? Because when you know your strength and you know that you have a weakness, then it makes you feel okay. Like there's nothing wrong with you, or with anybody really. Because when I saw him, I saw my boss. I never thought, oh man, what's wrong with this guy? Like, why is he always do? Why does he have me doing things that I don't want to do because there's not necessary? Like I never thought of that. Most people did, okay, in the company. But what I did see was the strength. And imagine, right? So that type of strength combined with air. Think about it. Lots of fire. Here comes air, and air can contain the fire, right? That's how fire spreads really fast. If there's a lot of oxygen and wind, it will spread out quickly. I think we were a pretty good team, okay? Because whatever he was at, and I would understand, I will take as an air, take his ideas and run with it, like, and we did a lot. Anyway, so that's fire, right? And this is the type of person that, well, like I said, relationships, right? You're going to invite some to go somewhere. No, he basically, the question that's going to be, if you go along for that ride, it's going to be, what's the purpose of that? Like, why are we doing this? How is that efficient? And what is that going to do to my mission? And, a lot of times that's what happens, right? That's why the relationship is not there. So, there's things to work on. Now, let's move on to the other one. The other one is water. Okay, water. So check this out. You gotta understand that if you start looking at least those two personalities, now hopefully you fall into one of those, and you already kind of understand why sometimes you deal good or not so good with certain people, right? But check out water. The water element, it's different in a way that, it's a big mass, right? Water is a big mass. But if you try to grab water with your hands, you can't. It's impossible to hold on to water. However, again, with the example with storms, that water can be very powerful. I mean, it literally here in Florida, it took away the whole beach area and erosion. I mean, it practically the roads near and the houses near the beach, they were gone. I mean, water just came in and sucked them all out, right? So water can be very powerful. But also, if you notice what you can do with water, if you go to a pond, for example, and you attempt to change the shape of the pond, you can't just go and start digging something within the pond because, or even outside the pond. You can't just do that because water will do what it's going to do, which is create, that's why we have rivers, right? It will flow down wherever type of streams it is, naturally going into it. And sometimes you may try to create something and it won't happen. So guess what? This is the type of person. This is the person that when you invite on that road trip, they want to know who's going. They want to know, do we have enough fuel? How much money are we going to need? And the weather. Literally, they'll talk a lot about weather. And I say that too, by the way, because my wife is water element. And no matter what day of the year, right? If we start talking about something, she'll always ask, like, oh, is it gonna be hot tomorrow, cold tomorrow? Like I'm the weatherman? No, I'm not the weatherman. Look at your phone. She's always interested about what the weather's gonna be like. So anyway, so they'll talk about the weather and what do they need to dress with and take with them. So they'll start planning all this stuff because for them, for the water type of person, it's hard to change. Okay, it's a hard thing to change. This is the type of people that they don't change much. This is the type of person that when you give them a phone, no, no, when you give them a case in a phone screen protector for the phone in a case, this is the person that the phone screen protector thing is scratched up, is barely holding on, but they won't change it because they don't like change. They just change to them does it, they avoid it. They don't like it. So this is also the type of person that will practically see things in a pessimistic way, and that they're not pessimist, okay, but they will see it that way. Like they will actually, you will come up to them and say, "Man, I've got this great idea, and it's going to change the world." And the question that comes out of this water element is, well, who will be interested in that, and do you think that's going to work? I mean, what makes you think? They start asking all these questions, and you're like, oh, shoot, yeah. Why aren't you happy for me? So that type of person, very, 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 uh, very important to understand that they don't change, but you can change them. You can literally uh, attract or not push them, but pull them slowly so that if it's a good change, they'll start immediately changing. However, they make their own choice to change. Like you cannot tell them, you need to change this. They won't change it. It has to be on their own terms. It's really cool. So again, three type of different peoples. Immediately, right? You probably fall under one of those already. Now, most likely, under those three personalities, you're watching this. Because the fourth one, I'm telling you, they're probably not in this. They're probably not watching this at all. Why is that? Because the fourth one is Earth. Earth, those are the type of people that, well, they're really pessimist. Like they really are. Water could sound like that, but they do it because they need to process things. Earth is just basically pessimist. The type of Earth person, this is the one that no matter what you say, they're gonna find the wrong or the negative, and no matter what you say. Now that's a good thing to have, and I'll tell you why. Because, for example, most people will see, let's say they'll see something and that it's fabulous, right? But we need the Earth type of people because they're the ones who challenge what you think is fabulous, and many of them find the right answers or the facts. I mean, a lot of the Earth type of people are the scientists, the discoverers. That they're always questioning things, because they're not settled with what they hear, what's cool, what's hype. They want to really find out, and so they come across as very pessimist. Like, man, no matter what you say, they're always going to find a way to twist it into it's not it. Like it's not good. So how do you deal with that? Well, the this type of Earth person is, well, it's the coolest thing because they will they will uh, connect with people. They will see a relationship and they'll say, hey, this is solid, just like Earth, right? You plant a seed, and if it's a good soil, good seed, man, that plant will grow. But they really care about relationship. And when you have an Earth element type of person on your side, it's like no matter what, they'll stick with you. Like they are going to fight for you. Okay, that's how strong they feel about having type of relationships like that. But at the same time, right? If they don't like you, if they don't like what you're saying or something, yeah, they'll just repel you. you know. So So cool. So, what about this, right? So you're asking about that trip. So what if we invite an earth element type of person to the trip? What's going to happen? Well, this one is going to be like, yeah, I heard in the news that it's going to rain tomorrow, on the road or at 12 o'clock. And yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to do that. They'll always come up with something like that. Yeah, there's too many people in that car, so I just don't think I'm gonna go. And by the way, did you say we have to stop how many times in that trip? Yeah, that's a lot of times to stop. It just doesn't work for me. Do you know any of those types of people? Okay, you know what I'm saying? So why I tell you all this is because when you start to understand who you are, you'll at the same time simultaneously start to be understanding of others, because not every one of us is the same. And remember, I'm just giving you this are four elements. This is something that it's very generalized. I'm not saying that all of us are specifically one only of those things. I mean, you can have a mixture of many, because again, the culture, the environment, who you hang out with, your friends, your family, your experiences, right? So there's a lot of things that are involved in that. However, as a general rule, you're going to have those four different types of elements within each person that you meet. One of them will be much stronger in them. And you can see that in most of the times, you can see that in people. And that's what I love this subject, because when I see it, it's like, oh my goodness, I know exactly who you are or what you're about, and it's really cool. And you can communicate with this type of person in a different way. And again, it takes understanding who you are first to understand your strengths and weaknesses, to be able to communicate to their strengths and weaknesses of other elements out there that you are, well, surrounded with. All right. So I really, really hope that this helps you, because I will tell you this, and I'll leave you with this thought, that a lot of people, I believe that there's a lot of people out there who are looking for their purpose in life. They're looking for something greater. They're looking for that specific path, or that they feel something within them that they can reach and do more, but they're unsure of themselves. And sometimes that happens because they focus on what others are telling them who they are. And it happened to me. All right, that happened to me. And unfortunately, until you understand who you really are, you're going to probably keep allowing those feedbacks from all other different type of people in your life, telling you what you should do, who you are, what you are, how you should act, and so on. So it's important to do that and to understand who you are, not only because you have a purpose in your life, but think about it, how awesome it's going to be in your business, in your place of work, relationships in those areas. You'll literally have a better time and greater experiences and special moments that you may not if you don't know the type of people that you're dealing with, and how you deal with things around you. So I really want to remind you that it takes time to understand who you are. Don't beat yourself up if you don't know yet. I'll give you one of my favorite places to go and find out more about who you are. Go to 16personalities.com, and that's something that you can do. And again, every week I'll come back here in my live show and also here on the podcast to give you good things and encourage you to create a lifestyle of freedom and purpose. So, if you're here watching me right now in this live show, subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff, and I will see you next week.